everybody's still talking about last week's amazing blowout quarter from NVIDIA. But you should know there's another semiconductor company that reported a great quarter last week and saw its stock soar. I'm talking about Marvell Technology, which makes chips for AI, cloud computing, storage, the data center, 5G networks, and even the auto industry. When Marvell reported last Thursday, management gave very bullish guidance on AI, saying it's a $400 million opportunity this year and then an $800 million opportunity next year. And that's based on real orders and real prospects. You can understand why Marvell's stock shot up 32% on Friday. Can it keep running? Let's check in with Matt Murphy. He's the president and CEO of Marvell Technology. Get a better read on the quarter and what's next. Mr. Murphy, welcome back to Mad Money.
Yeah, Jim, hey, thanks for having me back. Appreciate it.
So, Matt, this was a rather astonishing quarter and an amazing conference call. And I'm going to give you the floor to explain it because there are a lot of people who seem confused in the call. You made a couple acquisitions. You may not have thought that what could happen did happen. You even gave it a forecast that was much below what ultimately happened. But things change rapidly. And your acquisitions turned out to be brilliant in retrospect. Tell us about that because it really has changed the company dramatically.
Sure. Thanks, Jim. Yeah, it's great to be on. And if you think about it, the story that really got a lot of attention and people excited was our story about AI. And if you go back, actually, in 2019, we did an acquisition of a spin-out of Global Foundries, which was prior IBM, called Avera, which got us custom chip design technology and a team that knew how to do large-scale custom compute ASICs. In 2020, we acquired Inphi, which had excellent technology for optical interconnect for data centers, both in AI clusters as well as in traditional cloud infrastructure. So these have been years in the making. We always knew that AI was an important application within the cloud. Our view historically was that was one of many exciting things that we were working on. But I would say since December, with the release of ChatGPT from OpenAI, everything changed. And so really the big reveal and the big discussion in our call last week was that we quantified the amount of revenue that Marvell was getting from AI. And the numbers are pretty big. They're much bigger than people thought. It was about $200 million last year. We said it was going to at least double this year and then at least double again next year. And I think that insight that we provided to investors was quite helpful and encouraging and probably better than people thought.
Well, what kind of compound annual growth rate is that?
Well, if you take 2023 to 2025, our fiscal years, which would be calendar 22 to 24, that would be 100% compounded growth rate. If you went back to calendar 21, the revenue was like sub 50 million, so it would even be a higher growth rate actually off of 21. So it's growing quite nicely, and quite frankly, there's a lot of upside potential to this because things are moving so fast, especially since January, February, as the AI momentum has taken off, and we see cloud CapEx spending, moving more and more towards AI from traditional cloud infrastructure. They've got to make room in the budget, and our content opportunity is significantly larger in these AI systems versus traditional cloud infrastructure. Both are great opportunities, but AI can be bigger.
Well, how much of that is because the current is really 95% CPU, 5% graphical GPU, and it's going to flip entirely, which uses a huge amount more of space, basically, of what you need?
Yeah, that dynamic is finally getting understood. In traditional cloud infrastructure, CPUs and traditional processors were the main form of compute, with accelerated computing being a smaller portion. And I said in my prepared remarks last week on Thursday that was basically inverting, okay, a 180-degree shift. And so the bulk of the opportunity now in AI systems is accelerated computing, with the standard processors being more for control. That creates a big opportunity for Marvell on our custom side, but it also just drives tremendous amount of computing power, which then requires high-speed networking technology and connectivity technology done in the optical domain, and that's really where we shine, both on the networking side, but also emerging in the custom compute side.
I don't mean to slight the others, because I know there's much that is troughing and going higher, but your outgoing chairman, Rick Hill, who is a friend of mine and my family's, did either he or you ever think that in the last 4 months, this true bonanza could be upon you?
Well, I think, yeah, thanks for mentioning Rick. He's our chairman of the board. He helped recruit me into the company 7 years ago. He's going to be retiring, by the way, Jim. I think you and I have talked about that at the June meeting. What a career for Rick, a true industry legend, and tying it back to the opportunity in front of us. Quite frankly, Rick has always been an optimist, and he's a technologist by nature. And he's been lockstep with me and the management team on everything we've been doing. So while maybe the magnitude of the change has happened, I mean, Rick's a visionary, right? So he's none of this is surprising, but maybe just the speed at which it's happening. But, you know, he's been there shoulder to shoulder with the management team, really having our back since day one. And so we helped build this company, you know, to address what we call the data infrastructure opportunity. 7 years ago we started, and look where it ended up, Jim. Well, I mean, Matt, basically you have AI infrastructure as the biggest opportunity.
But are they going to spend?
Are
these companies going to spend? The big companies that we need to see spend, are they going to turn it on? Because Marvell's going to get a lot of it.
Oh, it's already turned on. I mean, you can see that from you know, our friends over at NVIDIA, which had an absolute blowout guide for next quarter. We see the CapEx plans shifting meaningfully inside these companies as they prepare their own plans. I'm talking about the large cloud companies that we do business with. And so we're adjusting our plans as well, because as AI scales, right, we have significant content in those systems. And so now it's really a great opportunity sitting in front of us. And quite frankly, the demand shift, I said in the call last week, the backlog forecast and revenue outlook, even for this year, has gone up meaningfully just in the last 3 months. Wow. And I think even on a daily basis, we're seeing just a tremendous amount of activity here, both on the current business, Jim, but also I would say on the design win pipeline and funnel of opportunities that we're addressing. So it's not just a one cycle thing. This is, I think, a multi-year opportunity for us and a scarce few companies in the chip industry to participate.
Okay, well, Matt, I want to congratulate you and, of course, Rick Hill, your outgoing chairman. Rick's done an amazing job. Matt Murphy, president and CEO of Marvell. MRVL, the move is for real. Thank you so much, Matt, for coming on Mad Money.
Yeah, thanks, Jim.